Learn Salesforce Lightning Web Component with a live project. In this video series, we're going to learn about Salesforce Lightning Component by doing a live project. Let's learn Salesforce Lightning Web Component concepts and then implement the same by building a new project called Partner Management App. So this is the first video in this series, and in this video we're going to learn about, or I'll just take you through the overview about Partner Management App, the environment that we need for building this Lightning Web Component, and we'll talk about the development tools. Unlike Aura component, development or even Apex coding, we need to take help from additional development tools to do a Lightning Web Component project. We'll talk about that in brief in this video, and in the subsequent videos we'll talk in detail. We'll just try to learn a particular concept in Lightning Web Component and then try to build a component and then see how that component fits into this partner management app. So we'll just start with the development tools first, and then I'll just show you the app. So talking about the tools needed for Lightning Web Component, again, unlike developing a project in Aura component, which you can certainly do it by just going to your org and then going to a developer console, and then from there you can just create a Lightning Aura component, isn't it? Or you can just create a class file, you can create objects, all such things you can do it for doing a complete development, right? Right on the browser, using a browser inside an org, you can do the development. But Lightning Web Component is a little different. So you cannot directly go to your org and then create a Lightning Web Component. Instead, you need additional tools. It's like you have to develop Lightning Web Component outside of the Salesforce environment and then deploy the components right into the org where you wanted to see that working. So that's the reason we need these additional tools. So Salesforce is encouraging source-driven development, and that's the main reason why Salesforce did not give Lightning Web Component, you know, create and manage, right within the org. So we have to do it outside of the Salesforce environment or org. So talking about the tools again, we need Salesforce CLI, which is a command line interface. So you have a link which you can just directly, go and then download. All the softwares we're going to talk about, everything is freeware. Everything is open source and freeware. You can just go to the link and then download based on the operating system that you have, Windows, Unix, etc., or Mac. So you need a Salesforce CLI, which is the command line interface. You also need Microsoft VS Code. So we will use Microsoft VS Code code editor for doing Lightning Web Component development. To ease Salesforce Lightning Web Component development, Salesforce has created an extension for VS Code, which you can directly install from this link. So once VS Code is set up, and for Salesforce CLI to work, you need latest Java, you need Node.js both on your machine, and to manage the code that you build. You can keep your code directly in GitHub, which is the online source control platform, and to manage the code versions, right? As and when you make change in a code, you want to keep track of all the history of changes that you wanted to do, that you have done. So you can just manage it using it, and both are just optional in this case, for this project. But these are the required things, right? And so as I said, you have to install all these tools on your mission. You have to start with your Lightning Web Component development. So this is the case, before Salesforce introduced a new feature called Code Builder. Okay, because of this dependency, right? Wherever I go, I have to ensure that or whichever machine that I use, maybe my office laptop or maybe my personal laptop or another desktop machine, right? So I have to get all these softwares installed before even, right, I start with the development, isn't it? So to get away with this dependency, to do away with this dependency, what Salesforce has done, right? Salesforce has introduced this new feature called Salesforce Code Builder. So whatever softwares that I just um, walked you through, right? You don't need those softwares anymore. You don't. When I say you don't need these softwares, you still need the softwares, but you don't have to install those softwares on your machine. Okay. Instead, with a stable internet connection and with a web browser, you can still able to do Lightning Web Component development, and you can do that with this feature called Salesforce Code Builder. Right now it is in beta version. It is not, not at made generally available, but it is pretty, in a good shape now for us to build a nice, a complete Lightning Web Component project. Okay, so I'm going to use the Salesforce Code Builder, Code Builder tool to get this Lightning Web Component developed. Okay, so don't worry about tools or software installation. Okay, all you need is just a browser and an org for the development. That's all it is. We'll talk more about that in the next video. Okay, I'll just quickly take you through the you know the application that we are about to build. So this is the application that we are about to build. So this is called partner management. So given any business, right, you cannot just run your business in silo. You have to get partnered with, some of the other companies, some of the other vendors to upsell or cross sell your business, right, or to increase the to or expand your business. Is it? For example, let's say you are a CEO of a technology company that actually uh, that actually sells technology, services, right? So so think about it. You need a marketing team to enhance or to create brand awareness, right? So you will certainly have a marketing team in your organization, but that team, has to work with some partners. They're good at doing marketing campaigns. They're good at branding, right? So or you want to, find new leads or prospects in a completely different region, in a completely new region, let's say Middle East, right? So you will partner with some of the local vendors to find, potential business, in that region, right? You might need partnership with legal firms to run through or to legally verify some of the profiles of the customers or partners that you work with. So this partner, is very essential in every business. So you can find different types of partners: marketing partners, resellers, social media channel partners, distributors, client, etc., etc. So, so we do have, so these partners are really important. So this particular application is going to help, especially the sales and marketing team, to look for partners. Okay, to look for partners, with whom they can engage with and then complete, an opportunity or a business deal. For example, I could have, technology partners. These are my technology partners: Cisco, Microsoft, etc. Right? So let's say I want a project to be done for one of my clients, yeah, and that requires, let's say, some networking stuff, right? I can take help from Cisco. Cisco being my partner, a channel partner, right? I can work with Cisco and get this project implemented. Let's say I want to do Salesforce implementation for one of my elite customers. So I can do it, with my workforce. I can still work with Salesforce, get their guidance, right? And together we can accomplish the project for the customer. So these are, some of the examples. Or let's say marketing partners. I can work with demand base or Six Sense or Mailchimp, right? To for personalization, to enhance the marketing reach of the organization. All such things, I can certainly do that, with this marketing partners. So so this application will certainly help the sales team, right? When they want, when they think that it would be a good idea to work with a partner to get the particular project implemented for a customer. So in such scenarios, they will come to this partner management app, and they will know they can just search for the type of partner they wanted to, they are looking for. Let's say they are looking for a marketing partner, right? And of course, these are the partners, that are having tie up with the organization. Okay, let's say a demand base. Okay, and demand base, right? Amy Jackson is the primary point of contact for demand base. So as a sales team member or, a sales manager can reach out to Amy Jackson, right? She is the relationship partner for demand base. And when I click on a particular profile, I get more details, as in the partner budget, the total pipeline, which the organization was able to garner, by having relationship with this demand based partner. All such things you will get to see right here: contract ended, contract started, etc., etc. Plus, you will also, find the location of the point of contact, Amy Jackson, for example. This is, where Amy Jackson, right, is currently located. She's in London, so and so, office, etc. So this is about the partners. The partners, we will also able to see the reviews, because the demand base could be, let's say there are three sales managers. Sales manager one, worked with demand base, get a project implemented. Sales manager two worked with demand base and then got another project implemented. So each sales managers, right, can provide their own reviews in terms of the quality of their partnership, in terms of the quality of the deliverables, in terms of or rather overall rating, plus a candid feedback, what went good and what did not go well, all such things. You can able to view the reviews. So great partnership, etc., etc., and so you can just see the implementation was great, awesome, on-time deliverable. All such things can be, can be gathered, from the sales team as a review. So this can help new sales managers when they look for, marketing partners. They can still, right, to take a look at the sales team reviews, and then, they can take a call which partner that they would like to, work with. So that is also available in this on the screen. So for any new partner reviews, right, as a sales guy, I can just click here and then I get a form where I can just type in, let it load. So this is where I can just type in the partner details, the type of work that we work with the partner, all such things, and then click on save. So once it is done, it just goes and then sits in the in the review. So that's pretty much this project. Okay, and also you have some quick links to add different partner types. So right now we have multiple partner types, right? Right in the drop down, you do have option to add new partner type. You do have option to create partner account. You do have option to create partner primary contact. So all such things, right within the single application, it's possible to see. Okay, so this is what we're going to build in this entire project, Lightning Web Component project. We will learn each concept in Lightning Web Component, and then we'll just see how we are building or applying that concept and building this project right from the scratch, till this end. Okay, so that's the plan. More to come in the upcoming videos. For now, I hope this video has helped you to get a quick view about what this project all about, right? And also a brief about the environment that we're going to use it, right? So we'll catch up on the next video and then talk more about environment setup. And from there, we'll just start discussing Lightning Web Component concepts. In this video, we're going to learn about setting up environment for our Lightning Web Component project development. So in the previous video, we talked about no, we talked about the partner management app, which we're about to build using Lightning Web Components framework. And this is the, the complete app that we are going to build from the scratch. As you can see, so this is the landing page, and you have an option to choose different channel partners, marketing partners, social partners, technology partners, etc. And then each partner will have a primary point of contact. And then when you click on a particular partner, you get more details about that partner, and also you get a chance to see the location of the particular location of the primary point of contact, and also reviews from the sales team that already worked with the partners, the type of work that they did, the quality of work delivered by the marketing partners or the channel partners, etc. You can just see it right here. So to build this, we're going to set up the environment, and also we discussed we're not going to install any tools, isn't it? Instead, we will start with Salesforce feature called new beta feature called Code Builder. So that helps us not to install any softwares. Instead, we'll just directly set up an environment and then get started with our coding. So that is what we're gonna see it in this video. So you will be setting up a code builder environment. You will set up a project, and you will connect an org against which the development right will happen. And also you will import code base. What I have done is I've just set up a code base for our
partner management app already in GitHub. Yeah, and we will just see how we can download the code from GitHub and then start, working on. So before we move forward, so this is the environment. You will have a code builder org, you will have a development org. So this is the org in which I'm gonna install the code builder app exchange product. And this is the org against which, we're gonna do the development. This complete app partner management app will be developed right in this org. So let's go and then see how we can set this up. So let me close this one. So this is the code base. So you have the Salesforce project, the entire Salesforce project right here. So this code base contains the objects needed for us to build the partner management app. It also contains class files that are needed to set up the data, and it will also have the lightning web component skeleton, yeah, just the skeleton. So there is no code in it. We'll be developing the code. So you will have this entire project right here. So let's first take the project from this uh, GitHub, and then set it up in a code builder environment. So the first thing is we need to have this code builder app exchange product installed. So I'm in this org curious raccoon, right? Let me just log into curious raccoon first. All right. So I'm in this code builder org called curious raccoon. So this is the org which I'm going to use to install the code builder so that I can set up an environment and then connect to this environment, create a unicorn, and get my development started. So that's the idea. So how did I get this code builder installed? Very simple. All you have to do is right, you have to just go and then find this product from App Exchange. So in App Exchange, you can just search for code builder. It is in beta version now. So search for code builder. You will see a product from Salesforce. You can just see it right here. So let it load. So you can just get this product and then install, get this product to get this package to install right on your org. So when you click on get it now, you'll be redirected to login.salesforce.com, where you can just punch in the username and password of the org where you wanted this code builder, right? Code builder package to get installed. So since it is already installed in my org, I don't have to do that. But in your case, if you're doing it for the very first time, just ensure that click on get it now and then get this package installed, right? So once this is done, the next step is we have to connect to the org. We have to create an environment and connect to the development org. So we'll just click on get started, and you have two options, new project and import from GitHub. In our case, I already have the code in GitHub. This is what I wanted to download into that environment that is about to set up. So this is having a piece of code for us to get started. So let me just click on this import from GitHub. So right here it is asking for GitHub URL. Let me go to my GitHub repository, and if I go to code and then I do have the GitHub URL, let me copy that. Let me go back here. Let me just put it right here. So it is trying to authenticate. In my case, this repository is a private repository. So certainly I need to authorize. So in our typical um, projects, right? Salesforce projects, we don't keep our source base, right, open or public, right? So it will certainly be private, and that's demonstrate that, right? I just made it private, so that you will have an additional step to authorize with GitHub. If it is a public repository, you will not go through this step. You can just simply punch in the URL and then click on next and then move forward, right? So since this is a private repository, I have to authorize myself and then connect to the GitHub to get this code downloaded. Let's click on authorized with web GitHub. So it's trying to authorize. It will take you to the login page of GitHub, and then and then you can just punch in your password to get yourself authorized. In my case, it is reusing my previous session so that I didn't get that login page. But in your case, if you are doing it for the very first time, you will be taken again to the GitHub login page, and then you just have to punch in your password, GitHub password. That's all it is. So once that is done, you will just get a tick mark to say that you are connected to this GitHub, or you can able to access, or Salesforce can able to access code from this GitHub repository. Now let's click on next, and this is where this is where I can connect to an org against which I want to do the development. So we decided to develop against this org, right? Creative unicorn. So let's go here. Let's go ahead and then click on this connect a development org. I'll be taken to login.salesforce.com, and this is the username reader.vm at creative unicorn. I do have this right here. I click, yeah, I can just log in. Of course, I just wanted to enable access. So now two things, right? So now we know that we can have code builder in one environment, and then I can have another environment, right, against which I can do the development. So it is not necessarily that both the environments need to be same or both the orgs need to be same. Okay, so that's the key point too, or a key takeaway from here. So now, of course, I just got this org connected. Perfect. My step two is completed. Let me give a friendly name to call this development org. I'm just going to say it is PRM dev org. Let's say create. Now it is time, Salesforce is trying to set up an environment for me. So what Salesforce will do is, right, when it creates an environment, and it will ensure that all the required softwares for Lightning Web Component development, or for source-driven development, right, like your Microsoft VS Code, Salesforce Code Extension, VS Code Extension, Salesforce CLI, Node, Java, whatever is needed for you to kickstart with your development, everything will be available in this environment that is about to get created. And when the environment is created, you will get this SFTX project, this entire code base, directly copied from GitHub into this environment so that you can start from coding, right away. Let's wait for this environment to get created. Then I'll just walk you through, the code that has been downloaded from GitHub and what we can do as a next step. Yeah, typically it takes a minute or two for creating this environment. Once this is done, you will get a launch button. So let's click on launch. While this is launching, right, since this is in beta, you have maximum 20 hours to use this environment that has been created for you. Either 20 hours, 20 hours of usage, or 30 days from the date you created this environment. Whichever comes earlier, comes earlier, right? The environment gets purged. Yeah. So if I use this environment continuously, or if I use this environment for 20 hours, right, in 5 days, then on the sixth day I won't see this environment. This environment will not be usable for me. Or if I don't use this at all, I keep it as is for 30 days. So the very next day, you will not see this environment right available for you. So it's in beta, so that's all these limitations and constraints are right now, in this beta version. We will see what new enhancements that Salesforce is going to open up when this version, right, it is made when this version is made publicly available. So yeah, now the code builder or the environment is starting up. Let's wait for the environment to get started. Perfect. As you can see, a new environment has been set up for us. It says endive-uda. So this is the exact code that got downloaded from the GitHub. So you can just see these are the scripts that I have scripts available, and you can find components. For example, I do have when I just open Lightning Web Comp, I do see components, I do see objects. So the entire metadata, it got downloaded from the GitHub, right? So now, uh, what we can do is, right, we can deploy these components, into the development org, which is this, right? Because this is the development org that we connected, isn't it? So we'll just see that how we can deploy these components in the next video. For now, our focus, is to set up the environment, isn't it? So that we have just accomplished. So what did we do? We just, get this code builder beta version, a package installed from App Exchange, right? Once that is done, we were able to download the code from GitHub. Number two. Number three, when you download, you can just set up the environment against which you wanted to do the development. So that also we did while we import the project from GitHub, right? And as you can see, when I click on launch, I see the code downloaded from GitHub for me to get started with the coding, all right? So in the next video, we will just see how to deploy the code from here, to the development org and then get started with building more components, deployment, all such things. In this video, we are going to learn about how to deploy the base code in DevWorker. So in the previous videos, we have seen how to set up a code builder environment, how to bring data from GitHub, isn't it? Uh, if you could recollect, we did use two orgs, right? One is to get our code builder setup done. So basically, it's an App Exchange product that needs to be downloaded and installed. Then I can bring the code from GitHub and I just configured I configured this creative unicorn, this environment as my development org, and then the code is now available, right? It's in the code builder environment. So all I have to do is I just wanted to get that code deployed into this development org. So what are we going to deploy? So we're going to deploy some of the base components needed for building the partner management app. So this is the partner management app that we are about to build, isn't it? So to build this application, we need number one, sample data. Number two, we need custom objects and custom fields. So very simple data model. See, on the account, a standard object account, I've introduced uh, some of the custom fields, on the contact object. I'll be introducing custom, fields, and there are two custom objects. One to store partner type, the other one is to store partner performance review. So whatever you're gonna see right here, the partner type, there is a separate custom object, and whenever there is a sales team that shares a review about a channel partner, that gets collected in the partner performance review custom object. So that's the simple data model that we are going to use for developing this application. So this these components, right, the custom fields, custom object, and this app, partner management app, etc., it's the code base is already there in the the base github project. So let's try to deploy that code into our development doc, which is creative unicorn. So if I go to creative unicorn, I don't find this app partner management. I don't find this step partner management. So let us see how we can, deploy the code using code base and then bring partner component, right? Partner management app and the relevant data model, custom objects, custom fields, everything, right? Into this creative unicorn. So let's do that. So first, let me go to the code builder app, the Curious Raccoon. So let me go to Curious Raccoon. I think I'll close this one. So yeah, so this is Curious Raccoon, my code builder environment. And let me click on launch. So again, uh, so this will open up a dedicated environment for me for doing the development, isn't it? Which we built or which we configured by downloading the code from GitHub, isn't it? So let's wait for this to open up. And then let's do with the deployment. Let's continue with the deployment. Perfect. Now I have the code base, right? So I was just talking about the custom objects, custom fields, right? If you just go to this main directory, right? If you go to objects, you will see the source code of the two custom objects, performance review and partner type, and also you will see the custom fields, in the account. So you will also see page layouts. You will also see partner management tab. There is a permission set that is also added in this base code. So this will help us to configure permission set to any user who can access this partner management tab. So the base code for us, to get started with the project, it's available. So how do we deploy this? So the instructions are given right in this readme.md. So this is what we did initially, isn't it? So we used, we downloaded the code from GitHub, and now the code base is available. And we know that this code base is connected to the development org as well, right? So it is time for us to deploy. For deployment, there are two options. One is I can directly use Salesforce DX command, developer experience command, run this command in the bash terminal and then get it installed. Or I can, I can use the VS Code extension pack, the Salesforce extension pack in VS Code. So if I go to extensions, as I said earlier, we will have all the tools, pre-built or pre-installed in this environment, right? So Salesforce's extension pack is already installed. So using which I don't have to remember the commands. Instead, I can just directly, do the deployment. I can do it. So which is fairly easy. If you go to this Explorer and then simply, for example, let's say I wanted to deploy these objects, right? I can simply right click and then click on deploy source to org. So this will ensure these objects, right, are deployed into the org that this environment is connected to. So let's try this first and then see what happens. So let me click on deploy source to org. So it says running SFTX. Let's wait for this to complete. So it says now deploy source to org successfully run. And as you can see, right, it also, shows the components that have been deployed, right? Fine, let's go back and then, cross check whether this is really, deployed in our development org. So let me go back to create a unicorn because this is the one, this is the development org, right? Connected to code builder. So let me go here, let me go to setup. And if we go to object manager, and if I look for partner, perfect. I could see two custom objects, right? Partner type and partner performance review, which means now my objects, my custom objects have been successfully deployed, right? So this is working. Let's continue this. Let's try to deploy all the, the entire code base, which we can certainly do, in two ways again. I can just go here and then click on view command palette. I can just search for deploy. Or I'll just do this one. I'll just right click this, or force app, and then let me try to click on deploy source to org. What happens is when I do it at this level, all the components, right, applications, app menus, layouts, WBC, everything, inside this gets deployed. Let's try this. Let's right click, deploy source to org. Perfect. So this is now completed, right? So we used Salesforce extension pack, which is a VS Code extension to deploy our code, right? To play our code. And if you go back to the README file, so you have instructions to do the same code deployment using a command, which is again fairly easy. Just copy this command. You can go here and then click on File, click on Terminal, click a new terminal. So you get this option. You get this tab opened. And what you can do is just paste this one and yeah. So in this, just replace the org alias name, which you can find it right here, in the bottom of your code builder, in the bottom of your, code builder, so or environment. So what I can do is I can just simply go here and then just replace this prm dev org. So this will exactly do the same thing, what I just did. I used, interface to deploy the code, right? Right click, deploy source to org. Instead, I can do it using SFTX commands as well. Behind the scenes, even when I use this UI to deploy the code, behind the scenes, it is the, the command that gets executed to deploy the components. Yeah. So this will also simply work. So once this is done, right, the next step is to assign permission set. So if you go back to this org now, so I do, I will have everything, the tabs, everything, custom fields, custom objects. But do I have partner management app? I don't still see the partner management app, right? So to get the partner management app available for the users, right? So we need to assign a permission set. Okay, this is a system administrator account, right? So we got to, assign a permission set. So permission set has already been created or deployed, in the previous step. It's there in the base code. So this is the permission set I'm talking about, partner management tab. So let's try to, assign that permission set. Okay. So I can go here. So now I'm a system administrator, user record. So I can go to permission set and then I can manually assign partner management app permission set so that I will get access to the custom fields, custom objects. I'll also, get to see that application, appearing in my app launcher. So I can do that, or I can use, sftx command that to assign a permission set. So this is to, explain that it is also possible to configure your permission set, all such things using, sftx command. Let's try this one. Okay, so this is the command that I can use to assign permission set. So let me just try this one. Just paste the command and let's see what happens. Perfect. Now it says that, right, it has just assigned the partner management app permission set to the default user. In our case, it is the same user that we use to connect to this environment, which is a system administrator account. Yeah. So in case if you do not want, if you want to explicitly mention, the user, right, to which the permission set needs to be assigned, I can use the switch hyphen zero, the parameter, and then mention the user name of the username. So this way I can able to configure permissions to certain users. That is possible. So we'll not go more details into SFTX now because our focus is to set up the project and then continue with LWC development, right? So for now, let me not talk about this more, but this is the command that we can use to assign permission set, to the default user, which is a system administrator account, number one. Number two, the second key takeaway is you can use SFTX to configure all these things, creating user deployment, creating, assigning permission set, all such things, you can do it. Yeah. So this way, I now have assigned the permission set. Yeah. So now that we have assigned this permission set to the system administrator, right? So now let's go and then see whether that app is visible. So I'll go to the development org, which is in our case, it is called Creative Unicorn, right? So let me just go back to the home. Let me just refresh this page. Let me look for partner management. There you go. So we have the application, right? So previously it was not there, but now since we have assigned the permission set, I could see the permission set, I could see the app, correct? So I could see partner types, I could see partner performance reviews, both are, custom objects that we added, correct? But right now there are no data. There is no data, isn't it? There is no data in both the custom objects. So we will try to use SFTX tree commands. It's called, import and export commands to import data, to set up sample data for us to use in this app, which we can talk about in the next video. So for now, so this is what we did. We used code builder to deploy the base code, right? The components needed for us to develop this whole, the LWC application. So components include the objects, tabs, the application, etc. So now we are almost ready to get started with our coding, LWC coding. As soon as we are done with the good data setup, let's try to continue developing the application, which we will see it in the next video. In this video, we're going to learn about data model review, and then we will also do the data setup for our partner management app. So in the last video, we talked about how to set up the base code that involves all the tabs, the application, the objects that are needed to build the application, right? So in this video, we will just take a deep dive and then see what different custom fields are used, what different custom objects are used, and see how we can import or how we can create a test data for our application. So I'll go back to the app, go back to the org first. Yeah. So we managed to get the base component deployed, right? Base components deployed, all the base code deployed. So there are two custom objects that we are going to use in this application for building this application, and there are bunch of custom fields. So the two custom objects are partner type and partner performance review, and we are using our standard account object to manage all the information about the partner accounts. So as you can just see, all these are, partner account, partner active pipeline, partner budget, contract start date, end date, geolocation. Every custom field manages to store some information about the partner account. And we also have partner type because our intention is to manage different partner types for our organization, right? Be it a marketing partner, sales partner, legal partners, etc. So we need to have a custom table that holds all the different partner types. So there is a custom object for that. And then after a salesperson or a marketing person work with a partner, it is possible for a sales team to provide a feedback about how that partnership did go, how did they complete the project, the good learnings about the partner, right? So for which we are managing a separate object called partner, custom object called partner performance review. There is a relationship, master child relationship. So for each partner there could be one or more reviews from the sales team. Yeah, so there is a relationship. And yeah, so you will also have a lookup relationship with contact. Just give me a minute, let me just pull that as well. Yeah, so I've just added the contact object as well in the schema builder, and as you can just see, for every partner account, there is a primary point of contact. This is basically a contact in our system, in our organization. So you can just see this, right? There is a lookup relationship between account and the contact. So we are managing the primary point of contact. So there is a lookup relationship. And yes, partner type, as I just indicated before, it helps to manage different partners, and there is a lookup relationship as well. So this is, the data model for our partner management app. So as a next step, let's start adding sample data so that we can just start, building our Lightning Web components. If I go back to the partner management app, there is already a list view created with the name partner accounts. So this list view will show all the partner accounts created in our application, all the partner accounts, or the sample data basically created in our application. So right now there is no data, and which we are going to, we are going to do something to get the sample data added into the org. Okay, so precisely there are multiple ways to do it, but in this video we are going to use SFTX commands. We are going to see how SFTX tree commands to import data for our sample data for our application, right? Let's head back to our readme file, right? So this is the code builder readme file, and what you can just see this, right? There is a command called data tree. So if you are using a Mac, then you can use this bash command. If you are using uh, your Windows operating system, or if you're good at using PowerShell, go with this particular format. Only difference is, the forward slash and backward slash. Pretty much, this is the command that we have to use. So there are two types of commands, tree commands in Salesforce SFTX. One is import and export. So export, as the name indicates, you can use this tree command to export some data from an org, and then once the data is exported, it will store as a JSON file. Yeah. So as you can just see, these are the different partner accounts, the sample data basically. Yeah, I've already done this export. So in our case, we can just simply import this data. Yeah, you can just see all these are partner accounts, and you can just see contacts information, etc. Yeah, and also you can just see the different partner types that we wanted to use it in our sample application. So that's pretty much about that export. And import, this is very simple to use it. What we can do is, for example, let's start with importing our partner types. Yeah, let's go with that. So I'll use this bash format, copy, and then let's go to the terminal. And let me just paste this one. I think I need to give the org name. Okay, as you can just see, so this is a simple force data tree import command, and -p indicates the path where the JSON file is located, because this is the JSON file that manages all the data, isn't it? -u is a parameter to indicate to which org you want to deploy this or you want to import this data to. In our case, our org alias name is prm dev org, as you can just see right in the below. Yeah. So let's add this and then hit enter and see what happens. Perfect. Now the data got added, right? So the partner types have been added or imported to the org. Let's try to do the same for accounts and contacts. So I'll copy this one and then put it right here. Okay, again I'll have to go back and then change the org alias name. Let's wait for this to complete. Yes, as you can just see, there are a bunch of accounts imported and also the related contacts. Let's go back to the org and then cross check. So back in the org, I'll go to the yeah, I'll go to this accounts. First, let's use the partner accounts. Cool. Now you can just see this, right? There are list of accounts added. I think I ran that command twice. That's the reason I can just see some um, duplicate accounts added, right? So let me do this. Let me just correct the data. But the key part of this, of this one is you manage to, learn how to use import tree command, and then simply import the sample records, right? So in the next video, we'll just start with creating our Lightning Web Components, because we have the base code available, we have the sample data available. So as a next step, let's start building the Lightning Web Components and then take it forward.